Great, you're here. I'm Jake Eagle, and this is my sister Jennifer. We're the Eagle Eye Detective Agency. Jake and Jennifer Eagle and Eagle Eye Mysteries. Today we're going to be looking at the case of the reckless robber. Attention all cars. The Richview Community Bank has been robbed of $100,000. Investigation team proceed at once to 2nd and Main. Wow, did you hear that? A bank robbery? Didn't we just hear a news story on 4 convicts that escaped here in Richview? That's right! They jumped from the bus that was taking them to the state prison while it stopped downtown. I bet one of them robbed the bank. Attention all cars. The escaped criminals have all been captured outside Swanks Hotel, but the $100,000 hasn't been recovered. Wow, they caught the criminals, but the money is still missing. Let's get down to the police station and see if we can help. There's the bank. There's the jewelers. There's the hotel. There's the police station. Police Chief Barnes said we could see the police files on the 4 criminals. Let's see what we can dig up. The police file on the Shorty Briggs is pretty thick. A summary sheet is on top. Shorty. William Shorty Briggs, age 34, height 5'1", weight 175 pounds, dark hair, brown eyes. Police record in 3 states, including armed robbery and jaywalking. The police file on Red McShane contains arrest records from 7 different states. His photo and description are included. James Red McShane, 33 years old, 6'2", weight 155 pounds, red hair, and brown eyes. Part-time bronco rider and cattle rustler, large scar on right cheek. Here's our third one. Froggy Forsyth's police file is packed with arrest records. His description and mugshot are on top. Cecil Froggy Forsyth, age 32, height 6'2", 190 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. Former professor of English literature, has a slight limp and perfect manners. Lefty Poltroon's police file contains his photograph and description. Joseph Lefty Poltroon, age 31, height 6 feet 1 inch, weight 230 pounds, blonde hair and blue eyes. Former heavyweight boxer, famous for his left hook, left-handed. Alright, now that we've got the 4 profiles on the 4 suspects, let's talk to Chief Barnes. Thanks for your help, Jennifer. And Doublemint, I'm sure it was one of the 4 escaped criminals who robbed the bank. We have all 4 downstairs in the city jail. Once we identify the criminal, he'll tell us where he hid the money. He knows that the judge will give him a shorter jail sentence if he gives back the stolen cash. We interviewed Mr. Green and Mr. Washington at the scene of the crime, but they weren't able to identify the robber. Any information you can dig up will help. Yes, sir. What's this? Let's go check out the scene of the crime. The bank is almost empty. We were lucky it was Sergeant Nails at the door because he knows us so well and let us in. He said we can't stay long, though, so let's hurry. The holdup took place just after 1 p.m., when most of my tellers were out at lunch after the noontime rush. I was just reviewing the bed checks when I heard a shot. The next thing I knew, a man in a mask was telling me to fill his bag with money. I could see his eyes through the mask, though. They were dark brown. I could only see him from the waist up because I was behind the teller window. But he must have been a fairly tall fellow. His eyes were level with mine. The teller windows where customers do business are on one side of the bank lobby and along counter lines the opposite wall. Pens are chained to the counter next to stacks of deposit slips. The walls above the counter is covered by a large mirror. The wall to the left of the teller window has a bullet hole in it. A video camera is mounted on the ceiling of the bank so it can record any attempted robberies. The camera has been destroyed by a bullet. Alright, so far we know that the suspect is not short and he has brown eyes. Brown eyes and not short. So who does that suggest it would be? It doesn't suggest William Briggs. It does suggest Shorty. Wait, no, it could be Shorty, but he's kind of short. It's not Lefty, because he doesn't have brown eyes. It could be Froggy. It could be McShane. So it's probably Froggy or McShane because they're both tall and they both have dark eyes. On to the next location. Mr. Washington was one of the witnesses to the holdup. Let's see if he can tell us anything about the bank robber. I was filling out a deposit slip at the counter, with my back turned to the tellers, when I heard a gunshot. I looked up and caught a glimpse of the back of the robber's head in the bank mirror. His mask covered his face, but it didn't go all the way around his head, so I could see that his hair was brown. Then he shouted for everyone to get down, so I dove under the countertop. He had a gun, and a few moments later he shot at the wall when Mr. Green didn't hurry with the money. I have to admit, I was terrified that somebody would get hurt. I heard the gunshots while I was here picking out some earrings. When I ran to the window, I saw a very short man with a mask over his head and a big black bag run out of the building. It was the strangest thing. He was carrying a little stool under his arm, you know, the kind you might stand on if you couldn't reach a high shelf or something. Then he jumped into a green car that was parked at the curb outside the bank and sped away. He never took the mask off, so I'm afraid I didn't get a chance to see his face. Uh-oh, we have conflicting witness accounts. You can see the Richview Community Bank from the window of Washington's Jewelers. The bank is directly across the street. She says he was short. The other guy says he was tall. So it could have been Shorty, because he had a stool. And he has dark eyes. And he's supposed to have brown hair. So, Shorty has dark eyes and dark hair, which fits the description, and he's short. It still could have been Froggy, though, and less likely Red McShane, who has red hair. So now we're down to Froggy and Cecil. Let's check out the other locations. Or location. Swanks Hotel. The Swanks Hotel is really fancy. The radio report said they caught the escaped criminals just outside. Criminals at Swanks? The nerve! Some of them were caught just outside, but the police actually caught one of them here, inside the restaurant. We'd served him a complete luncheon, a criminal, here in Swanks for over an hour. Oh, I can't bear it. At least he was a very polite fellow. A sign by the registration desk welcomes the National Tulip Growers Convention. The welcome sign announces, Windmill Slideshow and Tulip Bulb Exhibition tonight. Alright, now that we've visited all the locations possible, let's go back to the police station. Alright. Well, we're going to go with Shorty. Yes. Though I don't know what the politeness has to do with it. Choose the 5 clues that will reveal the suspect. If it's not him, we think it's Froggy, because he is very polite. But, okay. These are the clues we need to help the police find out who did it. Now choose the convict that you think robbed the bank. Dun dun dun! Right! Shorty Briggs was the gunman at the bank. Let's check the evidence. Mr. Green said the bank robber had brown eyes. He also said that he could see the waist up from the robber and that his eyes were level, so he must have been tall. Mr. Washington told us the robber had dark hair. This lady told us that he used a stepping stool. This guy has brown eyes and short brown hair, and he's only 5'1", that's why they call him Shorty. He stood on a stool while robbing the bank so that Mr. Green would report that the gunman was tall, but you saw through his trick. Excellent, that was some great detective work. Alright, Doublemint, another clipping for the scrapbook. Bank robber in jail. Stolen cash returned. Shorty Briggs, escaped convict from Rockford State Prison, was arrested yesterday for the robbery of the Richview Community Bank. Witness reports of the gunman at the bank stated that he was a tall man, explained Chief Barnes, so our investigators had ruled Briggs out. Doublemint realized that Briggs had been standing on a stool when the holdup took place to confuse the witness reports. With the evidence collected by the young sleuth, police were able to confront Briggs, who confessed and promptly returned over his loot to the authorities. Thanks to Doublemint, the stolen cash is back where it belongs, gushed Mr. Green, the bank manager, and the bank is happy to donate a cash reward to the Eagle Eye Detective Agency in Doublemint's name.